lot of the challenge around MDF isn't about the partners, it's about the internal buy-in. So as you're working internally, like how do you make sure and reach across the various teams so that your programs are aligned, and track that and report back, and like how do you manage those conversations, and I guess in political speak, reach across the aisles to make sure everybody's on the same page?
Yeah, so especially with Informatica, right, we have a ton of partners that span across a lot of different specialization areas and industries. What we really look at is aligning our company strategy with our partners in general. So actually, we just invited our partners to our internal sales kickoff a couple weeks ago in Vegas, and we really work with them on this is going to be our focus for this year. So what joint marketing activities can we do together? What can we do to enable each other to go to the market the best way possible? And then we can allocate funds to help them achieve that. So for us, it's making sure that we're aligned on not only the focus of, let's say, product or prospecting or industry, whatever that might be for that region, but also with the right activities that they're doing to influence the market and get the desired outcomes that we're looking for through MDF. We have a lot of different partners that are influential in different ways, and those activities can range really differently depending on if you are working with like a GSI that's very much influential and in their kind of consulting versus somebody who might be doing a different kind of an activity with demand generation, such as like a trade show or working with an email campaign or a mail campaign or something like that. So they're very different kind of activities. And with the proof of performance and with the aligning on strategies together, we see a big success in being able to help fund or go towards allowing them to use some Informatica dollars to be able to expand their reach in the marketplace through marketing collaboration. So it really just kind of depends on the region, but it's really aligning our strategy with the partners, being very clear on what that strategy is. We have things like prospecting days. We put together different materials and campaigns that we also run, where we take actually marketing dollars from the MDF funds to kind of reward and incentivize them to go out and do specific things for a product that we're trying to focus on, or an industry that we're trying to knock into. So we use those things for more than just the partner doing those kind of campaigns, but actually collaborating on them together. So we'll have like an MDM specific campaign that we're working on, and we'll say, hey, we're going to choose these 7 partners that we've seen just really specialize in this product, and we're going to give them extra dollars where they can use it for other things like gift cards and so on and so forth. So it's not always just necessarily giving back the marketing development funds to what they spent money on, but it's also incentivizing them through rewards programs that we also do through the MDF budget. So I think for us, that's really important. And then the way that we run and track the projects, right? So it's essential for us to have the strategy back from the partner. We want to know what's involved in the program that they're running. We want to have the proof of the program and proof of purpose and every detail involved so that we can effectively report on it, so that moving forward we can then say, hey, this is what really worked. Either we want to try this with other partners, or we want to do this again next year, or so on and so forth. So for us, it's just constant communication, choosing the activities, the proof of purpose, and being able to align entirely on focus and strategy.
That makes a ton of sense. I think so one of the things I took away from your answer there, and it was something that Dave touched on as well, just lightly in his response, was engaging with the partners, right, to build those strategies and then report them back up internally. So you actually invited your partners to your internal sales kickoff. I've seen some other folks have taken that approach, and that builds those relationships and those connections, which makes everything easier, because once people have worked together and they know one another, that whole trust piece and the ability to focus on the specific opportunity type. So not just here's a bucket of money, go do something. It's really a co-investing of, hey, you're strapped on resources, Mr. Partner. Let's come together in sort of that 1 + 1 = 3 model. I think that's really a powerful piece. I think a lot of organizations miss that because of perceived conflict and maybe their go-to-market or their sales motion between direct or channels. And connecting those dots is just wow, so important. Dave, anything to add on to that?
No, I'm really glad that you mentioned the incentive side. So it's not just about handing somebody a pile of money and saying, hey, good luck. I think that to be successful, and we do the same thing. We've created some programs that are specifically designed to stay aligned with our strategy, but for our partners to spend some of that money on, and we'll do that two ways. One way is that our channel account managers will have business planning meetings with and marketing meetings with the partners to kind of capture that in the beginning of the year. And then we also will target some of the incentives around what we're trying to get them to run campaigns for, so that it's aligned with our business strategy as well. So if there's certain products that we're trying to push this year, then we'll make sure that we've got some pre-built material for them to take advantage of, so that they could go and run a campaign, but they're not going to have to spend as much time developing, content or anything like that. We will help them develop that so that they can quickly go and execute on those types of campaigns. So I 100% agree that there's an opportunity with the incentive side to get them to focus on the things that are good for both of your joint business.
Thank you. And Kenneth?
Yeah, so I think that alignment, or we've all done sales and marketing alignment sessions at different events and so on, and it really is important from top down, because sometimes when people go down the layers, and certainly in big companies, it gets totally lost, and you end up spending dollars on stuff that's nothing to do with your overall company strategy. A very easy thing to happen with all the layers. But at the end of the day, it's still money you're spending in your channel, giving it to your partners to do activities. So I would say when you set up your MDF program and you look at those activities, it's really is an important exercise to do an alignment of those activities to your overall company strategy or goals, and they should match. If they don't, you're potentially doing something wrong. And I would say start with taking the activities. Do they align to your channel strategy? Does your channel strategy align to your overall company strategy? And if they don't, you just kind of have to stop, rework, and get that alignment in place. And it's a bit like Dave gave the example of the new product launch, that you build the incentives in line with that, which is clearly in line with your company's goals if they're releasing a new product. So I see it all too often, and that's where finance get really frustrated, or somebody very senior gets frustrated, because you're spending dollars on activities or events or whatever it might be that are not in line with what your overall objectives are. So again, just that kind of alignment, JD, is really, really important.
Just to add to that, I do think part of the reason why the project-based moving forward is the right way is because you really find out from the partner perspective what their investment is themselves, as well as what they're trying to accomplish, right? So I think in these roles, we're always trying to look at what are we trying to solve for, what are we trying to expand into, and when you get that information up front, then that is the alignment, right? Then you are being able to align rather than after the fact, or just giving them dollars to kind of do whatever they want, not knowing if it's really going to be a return.
Do you mind if I ask Janelle a question real quick? You just mentioned a really an important thing, but we've waffled on this ourselves, which is, do you require your partners to invest like an equal amount in spending the MDF dollars?
So ours is kind of situational, and it's regionally different, but it can be between 50 to 100% reimbursement that we cover, depending on the claim and what they're doing. So it really does differ. At some points we do pay 100% back, and really look at that. In some places it's 50. So it's really that range, depending on kind of what the program is and what the performance was, but we usually try to go into it being upfront about what we're going to reimburse at the beginning of the project.
Cool, yeah, we're similarly, like, that's why I said flexibility is important, because we're the same way. We've tried to build it into the rules, and then we pulled it out of the rules because we wanted to, there were some things we wanted to invest. So I was just curious how you do it, but yeah.
Yeah,
that makes sense. It allows you to experiment and test a little bit with different things.
For those of you offering MDF, have you checked that your program is aligned to your company goals? So yes, absolutely, 100%, you're happy with it. Yes, but tracking and validation can be a challenge. we kind of put this one in, then kind of we think it's kind of aligned with company strategy. And then of course, if you don't think that the MDF is aligned to your strategy at all. Go with another one. So for those of you offering MDF programs, can you measure and report on the program ROI? One of the key things for 2023. So obviously yes, no, or no, but it is something you want to focus on in 2023.